Consider the following expression. What is the result when the order of precedence rules are used to eliminate the parentheses in the expression? So remember, the order of precedence is star, concatenate, and then or. Okay, so I'm going to make this bigger. Okay, so now we can try to eliminate things we don't need. So since star is first, putting parentheses around x star is superfluous because we're going to do that first anyway. So I'm going to eliminate the parentheses around the x star. Okay, and then I'm supposed to concatenate this x star with a y. And then after I do that concatenation, there are parentheses around that. So after I do that concatenation, I'm supposed to do the star. Okay, so I do still need those parentheses to tell me to do the concat before I do the star. So these parentheses need to stay. Okay, so I'm going to do the x star concatenated with y. Then I'm going to star it. Okay, and then here I'm going to concatenate my x and y. I don't need parentheses to tell me to do that. And I'm going to concatenate an x and a y with my x star y star. So I don't need these parentheses either. Okay, now in the second half, okay, or is going to be last. So this should be last. So I'm going to make sure that all of this gets done before I do this or. I'm just going to do the same steps over here. My star is supposed to happen first in my order of precedence. So I don't need parentheses around y star to tell me to do that first. I would do it first anyway. Okay, so this says I'm going to concatenate y and x, and then I would do or r. So I would do my concatenation before I do my or anyway. So I don't need these parentheses because I would do my concatenation before the or anyway. Okay, so I'm going to do yx or y, and then I'm supposed to concatenate that with y star. So I do need these parentheses to tell me to do the or before the concat, okay? Because the concatenation should normally come first, which means I would do y concatenated with y star, but these parentheses tell me that I should do the or first. So I need to keep those parentheses. I need those. Okay, and then these parentheses, the very last parentheses, I do not need them because it's telling me to do all of this before I do the or, but I would do that anyway because the or is supposed to be last. Okay, so I don't need that and I don't need that. So my final less parentheses expression is going to be x, y, parentheses, x star, y, parentheses, star. And then or, we need a parentheses, y, x, or y, and then concatenate that with a y star. Now, when we were talking on Zoom earlier, you asked what this expression even says. That is complicated, right? Writing out what this means is pretty complicated. And the whole idea of this problem was to make it look complicated so you could just figure out how to get rid of the parentheses. So I'm not gonna go through and figure out what these strings actually look like. Okay, write 5 strings that belong to the language defined by the given regular expression. Enter your answer as a comma-separated list. Okay, this says B star or B star A B star. So B star, that means a string of B's. Okay, so B star is all the strings of B's. Okay, and then or, the vertical line we read as or, B star A B, that's going to be a string of B's followed by an A followed by a string of B's. So this is all the strings that look like B's, then an A, then some B's. Okay, so I could have a string of all B's. That would be in here. B, 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 B. Okay. Another string that would be in here would be a string of B's, followed by an A, followed by another string of B's. I could have a string of B's, followed by an A, followed by a string of B's. The number of B's doesn't matter, but you do have to only have one A. Okay. Or it could just be a plain old string of B's. I have one of those. I could put another one in. I could do BB. Or I could do B, A, B, 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 right? A string of B's, then an A, then another string of B's. Write 5 strings that belong to the language defined by the given regular expression. Okay, so I have X star concatenated with Y, X, X, Y, so that's a concatenation of Y, X, X, and Y, or X star. So let's see if we can tease this out a little bit. So X star is a string of X's. Okay, and then I'm going to concatenate that with everything else, right? So all of this, the remainder of the expression has to get concatenated with the X star. So what this expression means, if you go back to the 12.1 lesson, there was a result that we found that says A or B star is just the set of all strings of A and B's. Set of all strings of A's and B's. Okay, so this has that format. This is like A or B and then star. So this is going to be the set of all strings that look like, that have Y, X, X, Y, and X's in them. Okay, so this is going to be concatenated with X star. Oh, no, sorry. Y, X, X, Y, or X star. And this is the set of all strings of Y, X, X, Y's and X's. So let's see if I can come up with some things that are in here. So string of X's, put a couple X's here, make a string of X's, and then concatenate with, that means glue on, a string that has Y, X, X, Y's and X's in it. Okay, so maybe I'll do a Y, X, X, Y, and a couple more X's. I could do just a string of X's. I could do a string of X's followed by a Y, X, X, Y, and another Y, X, X, Y. I could do just a plain old X, X, Y. I already have all X's. I could do oops, I forgot to put the Y in front of that. Y, X, X, Y. And then I could do string of X's. I could have no X's to start, and I could do Y, X, X, Y with some X's after it, and another Y, X, X, Y. Consider the language defined by the following regular expression. X star Y or ZY star starred. Okay, so remember from the chapter 12.1 lesson that A or B star is just all the strings, the set of all strings of A's and B's. Okay, so in this case, this is going to be the set of all strings of this and this. Okay, so let's think about what this and this look like. So x star y. X star is a string of x's, and then it's going to end in a y. So this is all strings string of x's followed by a y. Okay. And then zy star, y star is just a string of y's, and we're going to put a z in front. A z followed by a string of y's. So if I do x star y or zy star star, that's going to be all the strings of things that look like this and things that look like this. Okay. So does z, y, y, x, z belong to the language? Okay, so z, y, y does follow this format. It's a z followed by a string of y's. Okay, so z, y, y is good. Check, okay. But x, z does not fit this or this. Okay, so x star y is x's and then a y. Zy star is z followed by y's. Xz does not fit that either of those formats. Okay, so this is a no because xz does not belong to the x star y string nor the zy star string. How about zyy, zy? Okay, so zyy does fit this pattern, a z followed by a string of y's. So does zy. Zy fits the pattern of a z followed by a string of y's. So that that is in the language. Because zy and zyy both belong to zy star. Okay, so this is the set of all strings made up of these things and these things. So that is in there. Let L be the language consisting of all strings of A's and B's in which the third character from the end is a B. Which of the following is a regular expression that defines L? Okay, so all strings of A's and B's. So the way we can write all strings of A's and B's is A or B star. Okay, so that is an expression that we use a lot to mean all the strings of A's and B's. Okay, then I'm going to concatenate that with a B, right? And this would be the set of all strings of A's and B's that end in B, where the last letter is a B, or the last character is a B. But I actually want the third to the last character to be a B. So I need 2 more characters, and those characters could be an A or a B. Okay, so I just need to concatenate this with an A or a B, and concatenate again with an A or a B. And that is this option right here. Let R and S be regular expressions over sigma, which is just A and B. And define new regular expressions as follows: RS star and R star S star. Do RS star and R star S star define the same language? Okay, so let's see if we can talk about what these are. RS star means concatenate R and S, and then the star means make strings of that. Okay, so RS star is all strings of RS. Okay, so it could be RS, 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 RS. Think of RS as like a new symbol, and we can make strings of it. It's just RS, 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 any number of times. Okay, but then R star, S star, R star is all the strings of R's, and S star is all the strings of S's. So this is string of R's concatenated with a string of S's. So these are different, right? An element in RS star could be like RS, RS, RS. And an element in R star S star could be like R, 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 S, S, right? String of R's followed by a string of S's. So this element is not in here, and this element is not in here. You can list either of them. R, 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 S, S. And so because of this, the two regular expressions do not define the same language.